What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here on my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now I'd like to give you guys my review of the new DC animated film, Batman Soul of the Dragon. And, you know, these films have really developed a pretty massive following amongst comic book fans. I mean, this is not like they would have never been able to release Soul of the Dragon into the theaters and have it make a boatload of money, but amongst comic book fans, DC fans in particular, they can release these VOD and they're going to make their money back just based on the fact that there's a lot of people who want to see these, because most of these have been very well done. The DC universe really established themselves as being, as having a reputation of doing a very good job on their animation, their animated TV shows, their animated movies. And Soul the Dragon is definitely no exception to that. This was a very high quality animated movie. And it's a reminder to me of, now again, this was animated, but it's a reminder to me of not everything has to be a part of a cinematic universe. I would have loved to have seen this stand-alone Batman movie in live action. This exact story, set in the exact time period it's set in. I would have loved to have seen it in live action. Not connected to the not connected to the DCEU, not having to film any kind of sequel, just as a standalone Batman movie set in the 70s. I would have loved to have seen it live action. And in a lot of ways, you know, fans are real quick to point out that DC does their animation great, and they struggle in the movies. And that there's some truth to that. Now, I've liked almost every DC movie, but there is still some truth to that. Even the ones that I've liked have been divisive. You know, Man of Steel, I love Man of Steel, but it was divisive. I really like Batman vs. Superman, but it was divisive. The fans really like the animation. And I wonder, it just makes me wonder if they would make, for instance, Batman Soul of the Dragon as a live action film, would it have the same excitement about it as an MCU movie or something like that? I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. But I can say that this was a very well done movie. So this film takes place in the 70s. And it stars, or has Batman in it, but he's not Batman for, I mean, he's Batman, but he doesn't actually appear as Batman in the costume for most of the movie. In most of the movie, he's just Bruce Wayne. It also has Richard Dragon, has Lady Shiva, and Bronze Tiger. Those are kind of our four main characters, although he's never called Bronze Tiger in the movie. So what we also get in here is very, very good but natural representation. It doesn't feel forced. It's just natural. And that's the kind of representation that I love to see. You know, Richard Dragon is an Asian guy. Lady Shiva is an Asian girl. Bronze Tiger is an African American guy. And then Bruce Wayne is your pale pasty white guy like me. But the four of them end up having to team up to take out Cobra / the dragon, or the snake demon. And it's a very well done, well thought out plot where this demon is using Cobra as its vessel for committing these atrocities. And you know, there's never any plan to honor Cobra, to do the things that they need to, that Cobra wants them to do. The plan is to use Cobra, abandon Cobra, and then, you know, come into the world. And it's up to Batman, Lady Shiva, Bronze Tiger, and Richard Dragon to stop this entity. We go through some of their training, some of their early days together. We see is a lot of nice camaraderie between them. You know, you definitely buy the relationship between these four characters and the fact that they, you know, work well together in combat. The music just made this movie. The music harkened back to the early Bond movies or you know, 70s martial arts movies. You definitely got that sense that they were trying to honor this era with the music. There was even some with the score. There was even a couple scenes where the score directly made my mind harken back to Tarantino films where he's trying to honor those martial arts films. So definitely the music was a character in this movie. And the way that the music was used during the action sequences, but also during some of the lighter moments, it was all just perfect. And it definitely gave you that sense that we are in the 70s in this movie. And not just the haircuts, not just the clothing styles, not just the slang that they used or the cars that they drove around in, but the music. The music sold the fact that they were indeed in the 70s, and I thought it was all great. Let's see. There was a lot of Easter eggs for the DC universe, as there is in most of these animated films. The one that really kind of bothered me, though, was the King Snake Easter egg. King Snake is a major villain in the Batman comic books, and in this one he was kind of relegated to henchman for Cobra, I guess because he's got a snake in his name. But I don't know, the rest of the movie was so good that I was kind of able to forgive making King Snake a henchman. But yeah, you know, this movie did not have the same kind of Batman action that you normally expect from a Batman animated movie like this. Nor was it really an action-packed movie. There was definitely action sequences in it, and at a movie that's about an hour and a half long, like an hour and 27 minutes, at a movie that's short, when you have several action sequences, you never have long between one. But the reason this movie worked so well for me was because of the character development that took place between the action sequences. You never really felt like you were just sitting down and watching action sequences that were hollow. And to be fair, there are some DC animated movies that I have criticized for being just action sequence after action sequence after action sequence. You know, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies is definitely one that comes to mind. There wasn't much to that movie other than an excuse to have a bunch of animated action sequences. Whereas this one, it focused on story and character first. By the end of the story, we knew who Lady Shiva was. We knew who Richard Dragon was. We knew who the Bronze Tiger was. If anything, we didn't know who Batman was. But we already know who Batman is, so it's okay. Yeah, this was just a really well done Elseworlds type story. The ending kind of put me off a little bit. You know, it was meant to be a good ending that inspires, that says that you know, they're gonna stand together and defeat whatever's coming after them. But the cynical side of me, and I'm not gonna give away what the ending was, but the cynical side of me says, well, all four of them are dead. They can't win now, and they didn't tell us what happened. So to that extent, I didn't care for the ending, like the very, very end. But the climax was great. It was just that very end, that last 90 seconds of the movie that I didn't love, because if they're going to leave our heroes in that predicament, I want to know what's going to happen, especially given the fact that this probably isn't going to have a sequel. But yeah, this was a very well done movie. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I really enjoyed seeing these characters that I've read about in the comics that haven't really gotten their due on the screen. So that was nice also. So I definitely give Batman Soul of the Dragon an A-. I thought it was very well done. A little bit too short, and again, that ending kind of threw me off a little bit, but A- is still a really good grade. That being said, what did you think of Batman Soul of the Dragon? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. While you're down there, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.